What's going on, guys and gals? Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the inside of my office. And today we are having a show regarding garage sale Q&A. So I am the Bonafide Hustler. You can find me on Instagram at the Bonafide Hustler. You can also subscribe to this channel, and you should, because if you're not, man, I don't know what to say. But anyways, a little background on me. I've been in the thrift store game and the garage sale resale game with eBay and Amazon and various other channels for about 18 years now, something like that. It's a long time. So I would say I have a pretty good grasp about how garage sale strategy goes down here in Austin, Texas, which is where I reside. And today on this show, we're going to be talking about garage sale strategy, and I'm going to be answering a lot of Q&A from you guys. So if you can do me a favor right now, and we can get the show started. A, do I sound okay? And B, have you hit the like button? So let me know. Okay, so the very first two questions come straight from Instagram. And this one's from Kiana Keeler. Says, what's your process for planning your route and choosing which sales to hit up? Okay, so ever since about 4 years ago, or up until about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I was using Craigslist, and I was just creating my own routes by, looking at neighborhood-wide garage sales or things that are in the neighborhood or something like that. And it was very time-consuming. And in fact, somewhere around this place are my original lists that I made to have, several $800 to $1,200 days. I mean, that's not uncommon now, but like for back then, for being as rudimentary as it was to plan out sales through Craigslist, because you know how Craigslist is, it's not exactly like a bird's eye view or anything. But now we have such an edge on garage sales in the sense that we have Yard Sale Treasure Map, which is really good, and I like it a lot. So it's an app that you should put on your phone. And to answer Kiana Keeler's question, which again is, what's your process for planning, your route and choosing which sales to hit up? So when I go to Yard Sale Treasure Map, you can actually hit each. In fact, I'm going to go to it right now. And today's Thursday, so we're going to take a look at what Saturday has here in Austin, Texas. And right here is the app, and I'm opening it up to Saturday. As you can see up here, it says Saturday. All right, so the little blue dots where I live. And I'm going to take a look at one of these garage sales right here. Church Garage Sale on Northland Drive. Hey, this sounds pretty good. So when I do this kind of stuff, first of all, I want to see when it's going to open. Starting at 5 a.m., I'm not even kidding. It says starting at 5 a.m. Let me blow up the 5 a.m. thing. Do you see this thing? It says right there. Okay, I've never seen that before. So my point is, I look at the wording of everything. And the good thing about Yard Sale Treasure Map is that I think it runs off like a Craigslist API or something. So you're looking at Craigslist pictures. Basically, this thing is showing you those kind of things, right? So I look at the pictures and I look at the verbiage of like the paragraphs or like what's describing what's in the garage sale, and I want to see vagueness and I want to see things like that. I don't want to see very specific kind of things, and I don't want to see prices associated with things either, because I don't want to go to those kind of garage sales. I want to go to garage sales where, instead of saying North Face camping tent, it just says sporting goods, for example. Instead of saying Nintendo or Sega Genesis, it'll just say electronics. So I like vagueness, and that way you can kind of, you're probably going to find yourself at a garage sale where it's more likely you can find a real piece of gold or a real winner. And some garage sales, all it takes is 1 or 2 garage sales in a day to really make your day. So, finding that is everything. And it goes more towards the point of, you have to really treat the golden hours or golden hour as a very important hour where you are like fine-tuning everything. So when I do my route, I take a look at, I'm going to look at this one right here. This is probably a garage sale. Let me take a look at it. Vintage garage sale on Lamar Boulevard. So it says tins and linens, crochet, luggage, small furniture, paper, clothing and accessories. I'm not really all about this garage sale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the bottom thing right here, this little paint palette looking thing. I want to put hidden. Okay. So I'm going to hide this garage sale right now. And that way, when I go back to the map, it doesn't show up anymore, right? See that right there? It goes to like a gray thing. All right. So that's what I want to do to all these sales. And I pick a color code to each starting time, assuming that the verbiage is good. If I'm like, I want to go to this one, it's an 8 a.m. I associate blue as the color of that paint palette to an 8 a.m. garage sale. So I'm going to do this for anything around this 10, maybe 15 mile radius around my house. And then that's kind of how I dictate where I go in the morning. All right. So anyway, that's how I do it. Let me go to the next question that's off Instagram, which is from Juan P. Juarez, negotiation tactics. All right. So let me put this phone on charge That's the last question on Instagram right now. But I also just put the notification that was going live like an hour ago. So I got 2 questions. Negotiation tactics is a very broad question, so I'm gonna kind of hit you guys with maybe 3 really good ones. One, and I repeat it all the time every year when I do a garage sale show, is that when you're picking up an item that is a little bit more maybe male oriented, bring it to the female of the garage sale to try to get a price. You know, when you're dealing with, let's say, Corral women's boots, and they're nice and they're like embroidered all super nice and floral looking, and you know that they're going to be a good winner, let's say locally or on eBay, then take those women's Corral boots and bring them to the male of the garage sale. And that's one of the best ways that, you know, there's really no negotiation at that point. You're bringing it to a person that doesn't statistically have the attachment that the original person would have. So, you know, a set of golf clubs maybe to a female, maybe, you know, trying to think, a cry cut machine, for example, pretty profitable thing that would maybe go to a male. So you kind of have to flip flop these kind of things and think about, you know, okay, what's the likely kind of person that's going to be buying this item, and flip that and take it to the next person that wouldn't have any interest in that item. That way you get a better deal. Yeah, so that's one thing that you can do. The second thing that you can do is very important is you can, I mean, it's kind of a negotiation tactic, but you can highlight flaws with an item, which is kind of interesting. So if you're like, yeah, you know, how much will you take for that boombox? And they're like, you know, $3, whatever. And you go, does it work? And they go, no matter what they say. But if they go, does it work? A lot of people will say like, you know, I think it does, whatever. And you go, oh, okay, it's not a big deal, you know. And then I go, you know, $2, $1, just need to get it out of here, you know. So that's a good negotiation tactic. It's a little bit more on the silent side, but you're highlighting maybe a potential flaw with the unit or something like that. Or you can highlight something that's incomplete, for example. That can also be a pretty good thing. All right, so what is another negotiation tactic that you can do? I like the one that is more build a friendly kind of banter as you come up to the garage sale. So talk about maybe the house that you're visiting, the tree outside, the nice tree. Hey, maybe they have a cool car in the parking lot or something like that. So think about those kind of things, small talk it, and it makes you know, things a little bit more friendly when it comes down to that uncomfortable negotiation stage. And don't, one of the best, I would say this is probably a pro tactic, and I use it, and I've talked about it in many years of my videos, but I would say a more pro level tactic that you can do besides just building up good rapport with a person, which is cool because there's like, it takes edge off, and maybe they like you, maybe they don't, but typically if you're a friendly person, people are going to like each other, you know? I would say with the most, a pretty good pro level tactic is if, let's say you have a $50 bike in front of you, and you know you want to buy it for around 40, all right? The easiest way to talk that down to 40, I like to do, is go, hey, what's the best deal for the bike? So that's one of the best tactics. So what's the best deal for the bike right now? They might say 30, right? So don't, you know, you might be counting on 40, but what if they say 30? That's great. So that's a good one to do. It's kind of like a silent negotiation time. What's the best deal you can do for this? And you let them talk. And if they say, let's say 40, you can be like, well, you know, I was going to say if we could do 30, that'd be a great deal, but I'll meet you in the middle at 35. So there's another way that you can beat them down a little bit and get a better deal on something. So no matter what they say, you can always kind of beat them down a little bit more by pulling this like really low number and say you're going to meet in the middle. Where in reality, you know, if you do your job right as a negotiator, they should give you a better deal, like straight up. You know, sometimes a $50 bike goes down to like 25 or 30 bucks pretty quick. And then I go, well, you know, I was going to say 20, you know, but how about 25 right now? So another way you can get $5 in your pocket, which if you have a Prius, $5, for example, will get you about 100 miles. $5 will get you a world-class Doppio here in Austin, Texas, FYI. $5 is $5 is $5. All right. Might not seem like a big deal. But, you know, next time that you're sitting there like going, oh, well, I don't have the car that I want to drive, or I don't have the vacation that I want, or, you know, there are a million ways that you can save money out there, guys. And by negotiating properly is one of the easiest ways to do it. And it happens every Saturday or every Friday, Saturday in some people's hometowns. These are easy ways to guard some more money, and you can put it in your pocket. So you should practice negotiation all the time and treat it as almost a game to see how much you can really keep of your own money. Okay, so Josh Davidson did super chat $5. Thank you so much, Josh. I'm gonna read what you said. Hey, Chris, love the channel. What made you start YouTube? Thanks again for everything. All right, Josh, so let me answer that question real quick. And that is, I originally started YouTube because one of my friends had a successful child at the time that was into he was into playing with toys, not so much I guess he was opening toys too, and then he was playing with them, and they were just like filming it on a tiny little Kodak camera, and he was like asking the child about the toy and everything. The channel did very, very well. In fact, they got 100 subscribers like relatively quickly, and the child was getting paid somewhere between like $3,000 and $5,000 like every month. It didn't take very long to get there. And so at some point, I was talking to him about my thrifting stuff and my garage selling, how much I love like flipping stuff and whatever. And he was like, you totally need to make a YouTube channel. And I was like, well, I was just thinking about writing a book, right? And actually, if you look right there, the book is sitting right there. That was my very first book I ever actually my first and my only book I've published, and it's on Amazon and everything. But has a 4.5-star review, maybe more than that. I don't know. But it's sitting right there. It's called Flip That Bad word, right? Flip That You can see it. So I wanted to create a book and treat it like a little passive income stream, like talk about the loophole that I knew about that I thought nobody knew about. And so I realized after seeing his strategy with that channel with the kid that was making $3,000 to $5,000, I'm talking, this was like a 4-year-old kid. Luckily, he was very smart and he took all that money and didn't spend any of it, right? So they saved it up for the kid's college, which was cool. And mind you that the $3,000 to $5,000 was only happening in the months of like maybe September to about December, right? That's when toys really start to peak pretty high. But nevertheless, it was pretty easy kind of thing that he was doing. And so I was like, all right, he's like, you should totally do a YouTube channel that would propel the book forward. And you can talk about this thing that you want to talk about with me all the time, and I think it'd be fascinating. You should totally start a channel. So I got the exact same camera that he did. And I started filming some YouTube videos like 6 or 7 years ago. And that's where it all started ultimately. So thank you so much, Josh Davidson, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. And let's get to the next question. So yeah, people are, okay, here's one from KA. Is it true better neighborhoods, better products? I think so, yes, absolutely. Better neighborhoods mean that the people have more money. And when people have more money, they buy higher quality things. When people buy higher quality things, sometimes they buy too much of it, right? And then the household feels like it's going to explode. So they go, we need to get rid of this stuff. Instead of donating it, let's have a garage sale, which is kind of cool because you invite all your friends over and they bring their stuff too. So I think nicer neighborhoods, richer neighborhoods, way better stuff. It's not even that I think, and maybe it's, at least here in Austin, Texas, it's a 100% correlation, 100. Yeah. So Yard Sale Steals 300 says, I love the tip of going to the person with the least attachment. That's just basic psychology right there. Go to someone that has no idea what this product is and ask them about it. And that's just, and that's how there's nothing wrong about doing it like that. You're still asking for a price. I mean, and when they give you one, it might be high, but it's probably going to be lower than you think. So like, that's just the way you do it. Batman Loves Bass Fishing says, are all Cascade lacrosse helmets created equal, or should I just stick with the CPXR? So the CPXR is good. And I think there's a CPV that might be pretty good too, but CPXR is pretty good. I don't think I've ever sold a CPXR less than $50, but I also started selling them locally as well, which is kind of cool. So a CPXR on eBay, I haven't sold less than $90. But locally, I'll go down to like 50 on a CPXR. I don't even know if I have any left, honestly. Yeah, those are really good lacrosse helmets to find. They're made by Cascade. Chin strap attachments, so easy to, it's just super easy. If you find some of the wilder colors, they can go for some pretty good money. Thrifting Lounge, what's up, Bonafide? Hey, good to see you. Sorry I couldn't make last Saturday. I was at a birthday party at a brewery, and then one thing led to another, and I was out till 2 a.m. So, but yeah, thank you, Thrifting Lounge. $5, I appreciate that. We're going to be doing the Reseller reunion every Wednesday at 8 Eastern. You got to get on and catch up with us. All right, so I'll give it a thought. Man, that's interesting you said that, because I probably could have done that yesterday. But anyway, thank you so much, Kevin, for the $5. I should be around a little bit more. There's a lot going on in my life right now, like a ton. I don't really want to discuss it. It's mostly personal, but once I get my head straight and everything like that, I'll be back, like really back. So Edward Lamborghini says, hey, Chris, what are your thoughts on Porch pickups? I like Porch pickups. I did probably 2 or 3 last week. I like them. It's basically when you list something on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, or even Nextdoor, and then you tell the person like, oh, I'm not going to be here, which if you are going to be there, whatever, like, but usually I'm not going to be there, but I'll leave it out the front door for you. Here in Austin, Texas, people have a dedicated lunch break, and sometimes and that's usually when they would come by. It's like lunchtime. Every now and then someone's like, well, can you meet at 8:30 in the morning or 9? Typically I'm at a coffee shop, like doing work, or I might be at the gym already. And I don't want a chance waiting around for these people. Because, when you deal with Craigslist or local deals or anything like that, people usually are not on time. So, what are my thoughts on porch pickups? I do porch pickups, a lot. It's just, I don't not do porch pickups unless it's something ridiculously expensive, like a full suspension mountain bike that's over $2,000 or something like that. I would not do a porch pickup for that, but I would probably do a porch pickup for anything. Usually when I do porch pickups, it's something that's around 100 or less typically. So it's either like a pair of boots or sporting goods or something like that. It could be shoes. It can be, I'm just thinking about the recent ones: golf case, shoes, boots. Yeah. I actually went outside right when someone was about to pick up the goods, which was really, really odd. And I can't remember what he bought. But anyway, so yeah, porch pickups are great. I like them. I have a lot of just inherent trust on people. I do, until they like rub me the wrong way, which I've been hit for $20 on porch pickups once in the past 10 years, for example. 10. Think about it. I've lost $20 in 10 years, but I've also been able to not be home and probably make somewhere in the vicinity of 5 or 10K, like something like that. So when people look at porch pickups, just make sure that if you're not going to do them for the right reasons, and do them because you got burned for $5,000 or 10K collectively, and you only made 20K, for example, or you only made $20. Don't do it. Don't entertain something terrible and compromise the entire income stream for something like $20 or even $100. So that's just the way I look at it. So color-coded is the way to go. It looks like Tim Linton says, I color code red for the sales I'll avoid. That's pretty interesting. And then about 10:30, 11, I look at them and I see the iffy ones later in the day. It's better prices, less foot traffic. Yeah, I tend to not go after about 10:30 to any garage sales. I look at garage sales as a fun thing to do with my brother, and I try to target somewhere between, in the lowest season, somewhere between maybe $300 and $600 in resale, like of things. And then in the high season, nothing less than $600, like somewhere between $600 and $1,500, like is what I'm aiming for on a resale basis after I'm done. And then usually we take out the SUV on those kind of days, but right now we're running in a small spaceship and sometimes E-Money's truck. I do, after doing the antique mall taxes and stuff like that, which is actually sitting right here. So I've seen, and it happens every single year. I'm doing antique mall taxes, which these are all the sheets that I get paid bi-weekly, right? So these are all the money sheets right here. And it's no surprise that in the booth, the things that sell the most and for the most money are furniture type things. So really cool looking chairs, cool tables, lockers. If I look at some of the bigger checks that I've gotten, it's just, there was one like that I ran by. But anyway, yeah. So, in garage sales, lamps. Yeah, those do really well too, man. $13.63 Goodwill French lamp sold in my booth for $175.50 back in October. So lamps are definitely pretty cool. Boots are definitely the things that make rent, And then when I go to garage sales, I'll look for things like glass jugs. I spent $3 on 3 glass jugs, and in my booth they netted me a check for $102.60. Not too bad, right? So those are the kind of things that I look for. And that's another tip that I want to give you guys for garage sales is you need to link up with somebody that has a booth. It's very, very important. Here's one, large mirror, $20 at a garage sale. That one sold the same day, $202.05. That was back in November. So $202.05 one day is what they paid me. So, make good with somebody that has a booth. Like right now in my booth, I have 3 people that I allow to do business with me, that I do a 50% consignment kind of deal with them. So they give me things. It could be anything. It could be neat pearl snap shirts, boots, taxidermy. It can be anything, chairs, whatever. And I'll cut them 50%. So, and you got to understand, it's going in my booth. Like I pay booth rent, I pay booth taxes. So 50% is actually a pretty good amount because in reality, I kind of walk with like 40 or so. So I think you should definitely get with someone that has an antique booth. So that way, when you come across a garage sale, you don't leave it with something super profitable, like maybe an MCM table or MCM chair or MCM lamp, for example, like those kind of things. You got to have avenues ready for these kind of things. That's why I like the booth so much. I like it because now we never have to go away from a garage sale that has vintage tennis rackets for 25 cents or $1 that I could put on eBay and sell them for like 25, but I'm not in that game. You know what I'm saying? But I'll definitely put them to the booth for 17, for example. Like that's just the way I'm thinking. And so what the tip I wanted to overall tell you guys about was have your avenues ready for all this kind of stuff. Have your local avenues ready, have your eBay, channels ready. And if you so happen to find something with a barcode, like a book or something brand new, sealed, whatever, make sure your Amazon FBA is ready. But don't forget about the antique stuff too. Have a booth person kind of on standby, and you're gonna have to work at getting that relationship built, but have a booth person on standby because it definitely helps. All right, so Road Trip Buddy just super chatted me, $1.99. Wow, had tacos for dinner with cheddar, then you went live. Cool. Hey, you had some cheddar tacos. Awesome. So $1.99 basically buys me a doppio. So Road Trip Buddy, thank you for buying me a doppio. If you guys watch my videos, I am a sucker for a doppio or a cortado, although cortados are a little bit more expensive. They're more like $4 to $5, but a doppio is right around $2. So that's pretty cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. KA says, what's your highest ticket ever, like yard sale resale item? A yard sale resale item, highest ticket. I would say, pound for pound, like ROI straight up. It's definitely going to be the $1.50 bag that made it into Bags to Bucks. It was a bag that I found on a Friday garage sale here in Austin, Texas, with like zero competition. It was one of 2 bags that I found. In fact, the second bag I think was like maybe $5, and that bag sold for over $100. But the one that was $1.50 happened to be a really, pretty rare Ralph Lauren proprietor, like super awesome bag, almost like a Civil War looking thing. I did show it on a live video at one point, and it had a $1.50 sticker on it. But yeah, that bag actually ended up selling for like $679.99. So when you look at an ROI kind of thing, that one's definitely the best one. It comes to my mind a lot just because it is what it is. Now, when I look at something that like was really good that wasn't found in a garage sale, 3 months ago we flipped a pretty rare GameCube kiosk for $2,000, I want to say, and that was $80 on Nextdoor. We held it for like 2 months. We played with it a little bit too. It came with like 8 games, so we sold the games, made all our money back, and then some. And then we sold the actual kiosk for $2,000. So that was pretty cool too. But yeah, there are always a lot of big wins, honestly. It's just that when I look back, I'm like, yeah, the bag really sticks out a lot. So anyway, Danny May's Adventures super chatted me, $1.99. Hit the like button. It's cheddar. That's right. It is cheddar time. There are 58 people watching live, but there's 16 likes. If you guys want to be my friend right now, even without super chatting me, it's all good. Just hit the like button. That would be like super cool. If everybody right now could just take a little bit of action, time in their day, and just help a hustler out. These little kind of things help the channel kind of sustain its momentum. Because I look at that kind of stuff, and it makes me want to do more ride-alongs, and it makes me want to, do whatever. I actually thought about bringing back the thrift battles today. I was thinking about it. I was like, thrift battles to me is like an hour and a half commitment because got to get the guests together, a lot of back and forth talking, and then you got to get their microphone and their camera ready, and then it's an hour show. I was thinking about getting it back, but maybe this time doing it to where they battle me, which would be kind of cool. So we'll see. I don't know. It might be a biased battle if they battle me. So maybe like 2 random people come together and I host it. We'll see. I don't know. If you like thrift battle, don't say I want thrift battle in the comments. Just hit the like button. And if I see this thing jump up drastically, then I know that you guys want thrift battles. Okay. Froggy Flip says that thing was sick. It was, Froggy. I'm telling you, that kiosk was incredible. So, all right. What do we got here? Any more questions? Let me know. Matt Vital. Hey, Chris, how do you get over when you find yourself not as motivated? I seem to be in that situation currently. All right, so this is how reselling goes. Reselling is much like blackjack. It really is, because you're going to have to fold a lot until you get really, really, really good. But I consider myself to be really, really, really good. And when I go to garage sales or when I go to thrift stores, I typically, all right, so I'd say 95% of the time I'll find something. But it's also because I've been in the game for a long time. I'm big on education, and I'm big also on having my avenues open. So if I go to a Goodwill, like I was just doing some tax work on the antique booth, and I just saw, just random Goodwill finds that are selling in the booth. And some are things that you just never think about. Like typically I don't go rifling through the shirt section anywhere, but I found there was a $1.08 like dare to keep kids off drugs shirt that sold for like 27 or something in the booth. And that's just an example of how I think. Like I'm like, all right, this is a vintage shirt. It's not a big deal. Like on eBay, it's probably sell for like 25, maybe $30. Here in the booth, I get 27 for it. Like that's what they cut the checkout for. That's not bad. But when I go garage selling, or when I go to these kind of places, thrift stores, like I'm always in that mode. It's because I've learned a lot. It's because I have my avenues really, really open. And then the last thing is I'm not afraid to fold my hand. I'm not afraid to go home with nothing. And in fact, if you can get to that kind of mentality where you're going out basically like with it's a Christmas morning kind of feeling, like I might find something good in the stocking, but I also might find floss, like dental floss, which is like, it's dental floss. It's still useful, but it's not as good as like, Marshmallow Santa or something cool like that, right? Yeah, it's like getting that, or it's like getting stamps, like it's useful, but it's not as cool as something else. And that's the way you kind of have to feel about it. When I find myself down on anything in life, I really try to take a second or two to try to figure out what's causing me to be down. Because it might not be the thrifting day at all. It could be, pressures at home, for example. It could be I didn't get my workout done today, which that never happens, but I always do. But it could be things like that. It can be I ate sugary, crazy donut food, and now I feel like crap, right? So don't think it's necessarily because of the day. Now, if you're going out and you find that you are positively associating not finding something thrifting with a bad feeling, that's not good. You should go out with a completely opposite mindset, which is like, it's only a bonus if I do find something. But when I go to these thrift stores, when I go to these garage sales, I'm going to focus on these highly profitable categories, which are, some could argue in a garage sale, it could be clothing, but in a thrift store, maybe just jackets and sporting goods, but to rifle through all the clothing racks take you forever. But at a garage sale, that's a different story because everything's like 90% less than it would be at a thrift store. So maybe you have to go through all the clothing there. Sporting goods, electronics, if there are video games by the time you roll up, but things like that. So you have to be prepared. That's why I make my guides, though. I'm gonna tell you right now, like shameless plug, I'm not even gonna lie, I've spent hours and months in coffee shops building really good guides. In fact, there are 69 people right now here watching this show, and I'm pretty sure a decent amount of them have my guides. So I'm not gonna tell you what to say about them, guys, but please put a comment about which guide you do have and what do you think of it, right? Let me know what you think of that guide. But yeah, shameless plug. I build guides because I want to share what I know. And outside of a free video, which there are 800 of these free videos on my channel, and you're gonna have to hunt around to get all the gems, right? The guides are a way for me to concisely convey to you guys what to buy and resell. That's just it. And I wish it could be guides on everything, but I'm not smart about everything. I'm smart about certain things, and that's what I built the guides about. So anyways, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Some people get really turned off by that, but I don't know any other way to act. That's just the way that it is, and that's why I built them. I didn't build them to, make this incredible, unbelievable profit stream and then drive a Ferrari later, because that's never going to happen, but not with the guides at least. But I built them because I like creating things. Look at this shirt. I'm not even kidding. It says create every day. Like how much amazing, how's the timing on this shirt right now? There's some cat hair on it. Anyway, so, create every day. I like creating things. That's just in my nature. I know that. So I love creating things, and I'm creating workouts right now on my other channel, and I'm just creating. I like it. It's my fun time. I get to feel good. So I know that about myself, and I chase that feeling a lot. Chris Hall says, how do I get the guides? It's the first link in all of my videos. Actually, it might be the second link. So there's a Linktree link on all my videos. Okay. So like look at the description field, Linktree link, and it'll take you to any one of the guides that you wanted to maybe consider buying. All right. Here's one from A&M Hunter. I made more than $1,000 on just the bag guide. All right. I have a guide called Bags to Bucks. So yeah, that was a really good selling guide. By the way, I'm not gonna lie about that one. That one actually sold really, really well. But I made more than $1,000 on just the bag guide. So depending on how much he picked that guide up for, because it's a $37 guide, but I run promotions every now and then. So maybe he paid 37, maybe he paid 27. But would you put down $27 for something if there was $1,000 on the back end to pick up and you had to work a little bit to do it? Think about it for a second. And that's all reselling is about knowing what's in the, what sells, what's in the market, what's liquid, what can you buy and resell? That's what resellers want. They don't want to buy something that's stagnant, that's cool to them. You want to buy things that are cool to the masses and that sells, because no one wants to hold money and just sit and look at stuff that's just holding their money, right? We're in this game to make money. How do we make money? By flipping profitable items. And how is an item deemed profitable? Because there's a market that wants to buy it on the other end. That's basically it. So PJ Miller, your guides are so much easier to read than others, plus packed with info you can use. PJ Miller. Robert Fortier says, I have several. I love them all. Thanks. Verified Martin Morales has the shoe guide here. Cool. Here's Julie Ford. I have a guide and I usually resell clothes online, but the guides have opened up selling opportunities I would not have ever ventured into otherwise. Still looking for the bad one here, the bad comment. Here's one that's not guide related, but JJ says, what up, dude? Does eMoney thrift full-time? No, neither of us thrift full-time, just so anybody knows, okay? So I basically do this part-time. I work at the thrifting thing and the reselling thing, maybe 16 to 20 hours a week. That's all I do. And I do it just to maintain my fixed cost and then some. I have things running behind the scenes. I have the guides. I'm associated with the green room. I have YouTube revenue. There's some merch shirts that sell. So I have things that sell. It makes more than what I need to live on, which is cool. The other times I work on big dreams, like weird things. I work on things like Strella, getting that fully trademarked and becoming a clothing brand one day. I work on things like that. Lately I've been, the past month or two, I've been working on my workout channel, my Instagram, building crazy stories and stuff like that for the workout stuff. So I like creating things. Like I said earlier, 10 minutes ago, couldn't be further from the truth. I love creating things. And I like creating things that I know a lot about. So, yeah, fair to say that I think I know a lot about fitness. And so my general focus lately has been on the fitness stuff. But it is about to be yard sale season soon. And my focus goes right back into yard sale season. And I am going to be vlogging a lot in April, I want to say. Maybe even in March when it comes to reselling. I'm just going to get back into a groove where I can mix it both up and maybe do 2 or 3 hot shots a week and then garage sales only. I'm going to get back into that because I like that lifestyle. It's kind of fun. The editing can get kind of cumbersome, but if I can figure out the streamlining of the editing, I'm going to be making some vlogs like I used to do, where I take you guys kind of throughout the day a little bit more, which is kind of cool. There was a question that said, when does yard sale season start? It's starting in the next kind of 2 to 4 weeks. That's when we're going to start seeing neighborhood-wide garage sales and things like that. So pretty neat. Rhonda Johnson says, I'm so excited about yard sale season. So am I. I live for this stuff. It's so amazing. Tim Linton, you share your knowledge and I appreciate it. Look to be even better. Thank you. Beatdown, how long were you reselling before you went full-time? So when I went full-time, I actually technically went full-time for about 3 years. And that's where I dedicated everything to reselling. Everything I did was reselling. That was just my thing. I was reselling part-time for probably 11, maybe 10 years, 12 years, maybe something like that. It was part-time reselling for 10, 11, 12 years. And then I went full-time for 3, and then I got part-time again. Yeah. So something like that. It's kind of hard to remember how it all came down. Okay. Here we go. Oh, A&M Hunter says, guides are easy to read, lots of pictures and tips. Yeah, the interesting thing about the guides is that I try to put as much of my pictures in it as well, which causes me to be in the coffee shops for a long time because I have to go through hard drives and hard drives and hard drives of pictures. But that's kind of like the way I like to tell the story. On the most recent one, which is called Outdoor Items to Bucks, that one is 90% my pictures, I want to say, 10% pulled off of Google Images or something. So it kind of bothered me a little bit, but I realized I'm never going to finish this guide if I have to hunt for the perfect 100% pictures. It's just impossible. So, going through terabytes of, that's not a terabyte of pictures, gigabytes of pictures, let's put it that way, through 4 different hard drives to find exactly the pictures that you want to tell the story with is very hard to do. And that's the most time consuming thing. And probably the part that is most likely going to derail the creative effort before I start a guide and when I finish one. It's usually, I get in over my head pretty quick. So, on this last one, I told myself like, that's going to be the last guide, I think. But then again, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it is what it is, right? Don't know. A&M Hunter says, I can't wait for the vlogs to ramp up. Yeah, the vlogs are going to be coming back for sure. It's going to be a little bit more like my day, things like that. Maybe we follow some local deals around. We see how the local deals materialize, like things like that. It's not just going to be, we get in my car, we go to 4 Goodwills and we stop and we're done. Although it could be that, but like I'm saying, I kind of want to bring back the ones that start in the morning with coffee and like morning rituals and like all this cool stuff, and then like it ends at the tail end of the day, and let's see if we got a local sale done or not. One of those things. What did we sell on eBay, kind of thing. Perhaps maybe even going like and hacking open the boxes that are prepackaged and seeing what it is that I sold that has to go out. Things like that. I'm thinking on those kind of lines, and so. As long as it's shot within the day and I edit it the very next day, my memory is pretty fresh on what happened, and I can get the edit out pretty well. But the problem with me as a creator is like if 2 days or 3 days goes by, a lot has happened in 2 to 3 days, and as a creator, it makes the edit process a little bit harder to do. So the best thing for me to do is honestly like start editing it the day that it all happens, because it's so fresh in your head. You know where the cuts need to be made and everything, but. It's the life of a creator, honestly. If you want to be a YouTuber and you want to, get some sort of a following, you got to give some pretty good value. And to me, people like to see the lifestyle. I don't know why. They just do. Okay. How do you find what is selling in your area? I'm not sure I want to start selling online except for maybe Facebook Marketplace. That's fine. Facebook Marketplace, you can sell everything from like Yeezys to socks to, trike scooters to bicycles, all the way to like 4Runners. I mean, you can sell anything on Facebook Marketplace, it seems. So the question is, how do you find what is selling in your area? Get on Nextdoor. If you have an actual physical, I think if you own your property, if it's an apartment or condo or a house, you can be part of Nextdoor. But I could be wrong. You could be a renter and you could be on Nextdoor. I'm not 100% sure. But get on Nextdoor. Nextdoor is pretty cool. It's kind of like the silent place to find super cool deals, but it takes a while to find them. Facebook Marketplace is speed. Like you can find incredible deals on Facebook Marketplace, but you got to be ready to get out your door, get in your car, and go get these things. That's how fast Facebook Marketplace is, and same with Craigslist as well. So how do you find what's like selling in your area? Just look at Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and look at the categories that have pretty deep amount of goods. And you can tell when something doesn't have a deep amount of goods in Craigslist because it'll show you like, oh, Thursday, and it has like 8 listings in sporting goods, and Friday it's like 4 listings. That's not good. You don't want to play with sporting goods in that town. But, if you go in there and just like pages and pages of stuff that's, on Thursday, and then pages and pages on, the other days, then, you're dealing with a pretty big market, right? It still doesn't solve the issue of knowing what to buy and what to sell. So I think the most important thing is how do you find what is selling in your area is really to take it back one step and go, what do I know of now to buy? And that will give you an idea of like the brands to put into Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace to see if they're selling, So I can go to Houston, Texas, for example, and I can type in downhill mountain bike. And quite honestly, there might be 1. Now, if I type in downhill mountain bike here in Austin, there might be 3, maybe 5. If I type in downhill mountain bike in Facebook Marketplace in Boulder, Colorado, there's probably going to be like 30, maybe 50. So it kind of shows you that the more that you know about something, you start to realize, oh, it's a topography-based like hustle, where the mountains are, where there's sort of hills and some sort of downhill runs. I can probably sell a downhill bike better there. But here I am at this garage sale looking at a downhill bike for $500, and I'm wondering if I can sell it in my marketplace. Like, until you know if that's a good mountain bike or not to buy, for example, you're not going to know too much. You got to know first about the product. And then the market typically will like good products, but there's seasonality, topography. There's all kinds of things to consider. It's much harder to sell a boat if there's not a coastline, for example, or lakes within the state. than it is, I mean, it's harder to sell a boat in a state that has no lakes or any access to coastlines. But then you get to like close to the Gulf here in, Texas, and like boats sell like crazy, for example. So you have to like understand those things. A&M Hunter just super chatted me $19.99 for all the free content. And he's right. There's a lot of free content. And guys, you can go run through it and stuff. There are playlists built behind the scenes and stuff like that, where you can learn a little bit more about reselling. The first link in all my videos is a free, it's a free guide on 50 profitable used items that you can start selling right now. All right, so think about it right now. If you're kind of on the fence about buying a guide from me, then at least get the free guide. All right, get the free guide. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but it puts you on an email list where there are some deals on the other guides. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you right now, that's just how email marketing works. It puts you on an email list that you'll get the CHEDDAR reports too. In fact, I'm probably going to build one tomorrow. You get the CHEDDAR reports, which are kind of cool. A little deal. It's not a daily; it's a monthly publication I put out. I think I'm up to CHEDDAR report number 10 now. That'll be the one I issue out next week. Really cool report. Trust me, it's pretty cool. College Picker saw it one time. He was like, "Wow, this is actually really neat that you do this for your people." I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of like nice, and I like to do it." So at least you get those, and you get access to some of the sale things that are going down, which is neat. But you get a free guide, which I've been told by many people that the 50 profitable used items guide that's free is a really good guide already. Help you a little bit already right out of the gates. So think about it. It's the first link on all my videos on YouTube. It should be. What else? Okay, am I selling buttermilk? What? Thank you, A&M Hunter, for that $20 super chat. That is so nice of you. Oh my gosh. Where do we buy that merchandise though? The cheddar and Strella. Okay, so the cheddar shirts and everything like that are links that are in my videos right now. They come from Amazon Prime, which is cool. So like you order the shirt, I think within like 4 days you'll have it. The best-selling shirts are the Cheddar Weather one and the Cheddar Quest shirt, but those are the links that are they are actual links that are in my description in my videos. The Strella stuff right now I only have for sale Strella hats. You can go to thestrellalifestyle.com, and that's where you can find it. I have a huge box of Strella shirts back there, which actually has Strella workout tanks too. So that's part of like the next evolution, more dealing with the fitness channel. But yeah, those are tri-blend shirts and some dual blend shirts. They all feel really, really good. I like them. Going to be coming out with some other hats this year, which is going to be kind of cool. Maybe towels and possibly socks. So something to consider. But yeah, Strella is my brand. It's cool. I love it. Like, I just I'm trying to find that sweet spot where it lands in the entire strategy of my other channel. So it's a outdoors based brand, if anybody wants to know. Okay, so Rhonda Johnson says, one time I bought 5 board games for $3 a piece. I sold them for $800 on Amazon. Oof, man, must have had some pretty good edition ones. Shoot, some of the Trivial Pursuit ones can get up to that much. I'm trying to think what else. If it was sealed, what else would get up there? Hero Quest for sure. Some of the SpongeBob ones, I want to say. Oh, the Harry Potter. I mean, Seen It. I think Harry Potter Seen It is one of them. Not 100% sure. I don't deal too much with board games. Typically, if I find a board game that's like relatively rare, I say that, and I see 2 board games that are destined for FPA sitting over there. They're all wrapped. One is NASCAR Monopoly, and the other one is what is the other one? America's World War II Monopoly. So yeah, those are sealed, going out soon. But I'm not. I mean, if they scan and they're cool, that's great. If I have to count pieces and stuff like that, it's not one of those like super well-known board games like, Hero Quest or Crossbows and Catapults, or some of the Risk games can get kind of up there too. Then I'm not in the game of counting pieces. I don't like doing that. But sealed things with barcodes, I like that. Any more questions? I'm going to hang around for 2 more questions. So if you have 2 more questions, let me know. All right. Beatdown says, I guess just started reselling this month and made about $1,200 in profit with 60 items in the store. How should someone like myself scale up and get more money? Just source and list more? Yeah, I don't know how many hours you're doing right now, but I mean, that's an easy way to do it. It's just to commit more hours. The second option is, the transit time can be kind of eating you up a little bit. It's possible. So I would say whittle it down to like your favorite thrift stores, maybe your pawn shops or whatever. Go out for sure on Saturday mornings to, garage sales if you have that in your area. And then don't forget about just the boring game of just sitting around with your phone or your laptop and just scouting Craigslist and Facebook, because those things can pay off really well too if you scout them. Like every 15 minutes, you're like looking for things, new items on Facebook. There's like a tab on Facebook Marketplace that shows you like new items, and like it refreshes all the time. So, but some will show you like, oh, just went live like 15 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago. And it's like $100 Yeti cooler. That's like a Yeti 65 quart cooler, which market value on that's about 200, 250 anywhere in the country, really. So you got to be ready to go if you're going to do that. But that's another way that you can kind of maximize your time when you're sitting around, maybe making it $500 a month or something like that. So, Laura Albright, do I have a board game guide? I do not. I think Rake and Profit does. So that's just something that I think he has, but I'm not 100% sure. Noah, I was wondering in general, do you ever worry about getting come down? I don't. Oh, jeez. All right. That was a pretty good one. That was a really, really, really funny. Oh my God. I can't believe I actually said that. All right. I got to remove that comment. That was hilarious. Okay. What else we got here? That was really, really good. That's clever, I gotta say. Any more questions? I'm gonna hang around for one more question. If you have it, let me know. You got me good. Thanks, Noah. That was cool. That was really good. I wonder if one came through Instagram. So let me check the Instagram real quick, and then I'll let you guys know. There should be one on Instagram by now. Just been doing, nope, there's not another one yet. So I think people think that the thing's going. All right, so here we go. A&M Hunter, gosh, $25 super chat. Man, thanks a lot. I'm about to get out of here, actually. So still got Bad to the Bone teak table. Gonna ever sell it? Bad to the Bone teak table. Bad to the Bone. Do I still have Bad to the Bone teak table? What does that mean? Hold on. Oh, I think, is this the one that I found from Salvation Army for $150? That's worth like over $2,000. Like, if that's the one you're talking about, then no, I'm never going to sell it, because it actually is a really cool Danish inspired, like modern, awesome table that came with the bench. When we looked up the table, it was like $2,500. When we looked up the bench, it was like $900 to almost like $1,000. And I found that at the Salvation Army for $150 like a year ago. So I think that's what you're talking about. So yeah, if that's what you're talking about, do I still have it? I do. I love that table. It's so cool. Yard sales. Okay, yard sale steals. What's the cheapest price you list something for on eBay? Usually it's nothing less than like $40. And those are items that I thought I was going to sell for 50 or maybe even $60, right? 50 or $60. And I'm just down to 40 now, So I don't usually like selling anything less than 50. So that's kind of like, if someone like looks at a $70 shoe and they're like, offer me $39.99, I'll counter at 50. And like, I kind of want that 50 number all the time for something, but that's just where I would like everything to be. It's not always like that. And when I get an opportunity to flip something that's been for a while at my store for around $40, that maybe I'm $10 into, I'll do it. If I've been holding it for, let's say, over 4 months, 6 months, something like that, I'll definitely do it. I just did it the other day, I think. I actually sold for $45 that I was $14 into. Probably been into that, I think, for like 8 months. I was like, oh, get me off of this thing. Whatever. I'll take my money back, basically. A&M Hunter, where's Urban Diggers? I don't know. As last I heard, Zach was selling Lexus cars. I think he might be a real estate agent on the side now as well. I don't know. I know he's remarried as well, which is kind of cool. I've never met him in real life, which would be really nice. They were a really good inspiration for me when I started doing videos. I was watching Urban Diggers all the time, and I really liked their style of video. Maybe I should do that kind of stuff in my ride-alongs, although it would carry my 15-minute ride-along videos into like the 25, maybe 30-minute mark, which is cool for ads, I guess, if you want to throw ads on there, but it's not cool in a, you're really dialing it down to like maybe the 20% of your audience that's willing to watch a 30-minute video. Like that's a tough sell. I think it's much better to either have like an hour-long awesome show that's like Thrift Battle or something dedicated to something at nighttime where like the engagement's real high versus a vlog that I launch at 8 in the morning that's 30 minutes long. And I can just tell when I look at analytics, the drop-off rate's like right at the 15 mark or the 11-minute mark. So to me, it makes no sense to film those extra minutes on those kind of videos because no one's watching them. I mean, not no one, but hardly anybody, which is not cool. I kind of want my entire audience to, you kind of want to see your graph like stay like this, and at the last moment like dip. You don't want to see this like rise and then this like all of a sudden dip. Like that's not cool. So a lot of things that go into YouTube when you're creating videos that there's like short form content, long form content, highly engaging content, things like that. CTA, like call to action videos. So there's like a million strategies with it, but when it comes down to it, you kind of have to know what's the best use of your time. I would love to wear a GoPro and go to garage sales. I've done it in some videos where I put a cell phone in my, pocket right here, my chest pocket. And it's cool and everything, but it wouldn't do as much justice as like a GoPro. But then that's so intrusive, and it's an easy way to like get people scared and get people like maybe upcharging you for things, I would assume. And it's just something, one more thing you got to explain, which is like not fun. Like I don't like taking any more time than I need to, because the best deals are won within seconds, in garage sales. There's so much competition here in Austin, and I know a lot of them, and I love these people. I think they're so cool. I have no bad beef with any of them. They might have bad beef with me. I have no idea, but I don't have any bad beef with any of them. I know most of them. I really do. And I think it's cool. I think it's cool that we can all kind of have a piece of the pie and still like respect each other. I see them every weekend. Every single weekend I see resellers that I know. And yeah, I just think the game comes down to seconds, So like if you can get to a garage sale and put your hand on the bike for, and it's been like this. It's been like 20 seconds later, like a competitive bike reseller will come up behind me and be like, "You're going to buy that thing?" I'm like, "I think so," and I make big money on it. And it comes down to seconds. So if I spend seconds explaining at a garage sale why I have a GoPro on it blinking red, those are seconds that are being pulled from the next garage sale. So I think like that. And that's how you have to think, honestly. Joan Morris, what did you do before reselling? All right. So before reselling, for at least 9 years of my life, I was a consultant for a pretty big territory for Philip Morris Tobacco. So yeah, exactly. I was, and I did, really big job stint with them, did an MBA through them as well. That was fun. After that, I became a kind of like stock trader, day trader for a while, for about a year and a half. Didn't make so much on that one. That was a pretty bad decision. And then I became a farmer's insurance agent for a year and a half. And then I realized I didn't want to do that. And then all through the whole trading thing, and even I talk about it in one of my, I talk about it in one of my emails, actually, that's on like how did I become a reseller? It's actually like one email number 1 or number 2 that will come out. So if you are subscribed to the 50 items guide, newly subscribed, it'll come out in like 4 days or 8 days from now. It's kind of timed, But yeah, I remember that it was bugging me each and every time that I was doing these jobs, or like, found myself in these careers that while I was working there, I couldn't stop thinking about going to a Goodwill or like flipping items or going to pawn shops or something like that. Like I couldn't stop thinking about those things because I liked them. So, I finally obeyed myself, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it full time. And I went full time for 3 years. And after that, I, formed some alliances with other people that allowed me to kind of live a much, I wouldn't say an easier life, but a more chill life. And my fixed costs aren't super high. So that's one thing that's really good about me, is like my fixed costs are actually really, really low. So it doesn't take much for me to live and feel comfortable, and like money doesn't govern my life. Like I am just blessed to have low fixed cost. So I like that. And yeah, money doesn't govern my world whatsoever. Although I think the next stage of what I'm building will probably pay me pretty well, I would think. And I can't help but sometimes think like, what will I do with that money? So yeah, of course I'm going to try to reinvest it in the business as much as possible. But at some point you have to buy certain things or improve certain things that make it evident, like on an everyday basis, that you've achieved something. So whether that be like buy a car or soup up your house or something like that, sometimes you have to do something to show you like it's working, keep going at it, improve the cameras, for example, get a studio built in the house, something like that. So that's kind of crossing my mind. Whatever I do invest in, I kind of want to be able to write it off too. So it'll probably be a studio or something really cool upstairs. All this shelving and lights for Strella. So it actually looks really cool. So something like that is what I'm thinking. But I ain't gonna lie, like part of me also thinks that I kind of want a convertible Celine Mustang from like 2002, like a white one with white rims. I kind of like them. I've always liked them. Kind of find one for about 12 grand, nothing crazy. Doesn't break the bank. And I kind of like a 72 Blazer with no top, orange, big wheels lifted. I kind of like it. I do. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me, but I like it. And I can't deny that. And I can see myself at some point in my life driving one. So that's every bit of somewhere between 30 and 40 grand. I'd have to be making, a very large sum of money for me to justify that kind of thing. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, everyone's saying cover the red light on the GoPro. People know what GoPros are. That's the thing. If I have to explain a GoPro once in a day, that could be like the end of, that could be several hundreds of dollars in profit in like 2 seconds. Like that's literally how fast it is here in Austin, Texas, just so anybody knows. So that's pretty much, goals are good. Yeah, that's right, Joan Morris. Thank you so much. There's nothing wrong about goals, but my biggest overall goal is to do what I've done for the Bonafide Hustler channel, honestly, with the fitness space. So it's not that I'm going to leave everything here and like, oh, see you later, guys. Like, it's not going to be like that. I'm going to be very smart about my time that I invest with the reselling thing. And I'm going to work really hard on building like a really, not so much a big following, but a very dedicated following of people that want to turn their lives around. And that's the next stage of where I'm going. And that's mostly the other channel as well. If you do want to check out the other channel, by the way, I didn't really plan on doing this on this video, but it's called BODDAMN, BODDAMN. And there's a lot of activity actually on the Instagram, more than anything right now. So BODDAMN, go check it out. Give me a follow. Be really cool. But only go there, not just to follow what the Bonafide Hustler is doing. Go there because you want to improve your life, things like that. So there's some cool things. And if you read some, I'm just getting started for the most part, but I'm pretty proud of it. And it's pretty neat. Now, if it bothers you to see like a shirtless pic of the Bonafide Hustler, then do not go there because there are a lot of them. So, but outside of that, it's fun, and I really want to just follow my destiny, which is no matter what it is that I like, I'm going to follow that. So I like thrifting. I like garage selling. I still do it. And I like working out and helping people become a better version of themselves, period. Like those are the only two things I'm probably going to wrap myself up with in the next decade. So that's pretty much it. Last question. Am I a personal trainer? I was a personal trainer. I was fully certified and everything like that. And my clients, guess what? My private clients that would work out in my house gym, guess what? They didn't care. No one asked to see the certification. So I didn't renew it because it was BS. At that point, I was like, this is, I've been played. I paid $800 to get certified. They sent me a backpack and a book. And then I went to a testing center and I passed. And I was like, I passed within a month. I studied for 30 days, passed, and I was like, this is the problem. This is one of the biggest problems in America right now is that personal trainers can make almost as much as doctors if you go in the right kind of place. Private personal training, you can charge $150 an hour, for example. But to become a personal trainer, you can do it like in 30 days. It's kind of crazy, I've dedicated over 2 decades of my life to working out with, and maybe only 2 years of that time was with a certification, but no one ever asked about it. So that's a problem. And I realized moving forward, I'm not going to fall for those kind of things anymore. And it's kind of stupid. So yeah, I know what I'm doing. And yeah. And if you want to follow my journey, you can go check it out on the other channel. That's pretty much it, guys. I thought I was going to talk for like 30 minutes, about 58 right now. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by. And thank you for anybody that super chatted me money. That was really cool. Didn't expect any of that. But I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler video. And yeah, follow me on all my channels. But Instagram is pretty cool too. The Bonafide Hustler. Check me out there. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Goodbye.